apparently Star Wars has decided to unveil its first transgender stormtrooper named Sister, and fans are divided, according to the New York Post. So a new character in the Star Wars universe is causing quite the stir with the franchise. The first transgender stormtrooper named Sister appears in the new book, Star Wars, The Secrets of the Clone Troopers. According to the X account Star Wars Holocron, the character Captain Rex gives a description of Sister. And the book says, when one of our kind expressed her gender identity differently than her fellow clone troopers, she featured she'd have to hide who she truly was inside. Fortunately, her brothers in the 7th Sky Corps gave her the name Sister as a constant reminder that she belonged. Guys,
oh boy,
stop trans hate. Isn't that right, Dutch Butters?
Well, you know what's funny about this is I found out that this character's already been in a few other things. So this character's been around for 2 years now. It's taken somebody 2 years to discover this character. That means nobody's interested in Star Wars shit.
Means nobody reads books, number one. Right?
Exactly.
Not even members of the community that this is pandering to.
That's how we found out, I think.
They would literally be the ones that would be like, oh, I'm so proud of this. I just discovered this. But the fact that it took 2 years for them to get there, they're not watching it either.
Right. That's pretty funny.
They also probably don't care because it's a book, so there's no cultural relevance there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people on X were definitely caring because there was quite the outcry.
Blew up yesterday,
yeah.
Or day before, whatever it was. Yeah.
Dutch Butters, you actually texted me an article about this issue.
Yeah, because I logged on X yesterday for like 30 seconds. It was the first thing in my feed, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty normal for this day and age. And then so I sent it to you, and you go, it's already on the list for today's show. But you saw it before I did. So I just found it interesting. It'd be something like we would probably want to at least briefly talk about. So basically, a trooper just felt like he wanted to be a girl, so he grew his hair long and changed his name and put the trans flag from here onto his clone trooper uniform in the Star Wars universe.
You know what this tells me? I'm never letting the Kaminoans make a bunch of clone troopers for me, because at this point,
genetically flawed.
They're flawed, because you have one I know that already left for a family. You got another one who wants to be a woman.
The whole Bad Batch. Like
the whole Bad Batch is a problem. Like at this point, like I'd be like, I want my fucking money back.
Yeah. But also, isn't it great that now this would have to be included within the Bad Batch itself? And so what's that saying about it all? What do you mean a bad batch? What do you mean there was a mistake?
Well, the idea is that if they're taking a bunch of HRT, that's why they can't hit anything when they shoot. They're just not. Yeah.
Well, Brian, since you are our shield against all things intersectional and woke, what's your take on the trans trooper?
I heard a hilarious joke yesterday from a comedian, and it went like this: there's never been a woman school shooter, except for that one trans one where she was a woman for 20 years without a problem, but the second she had to spend a year as a man, she went on a rampage. And I laughed my butt off, because the whole trans they them pronoun movement is really, really silly. And I'm not trying to offend someone if they feel like they're in the wrong body or whatever, but here's the deal. This trans ideology, it only affects a very tiny little portion of the population. Mm-hmm. So those, like you trying to virtue signal to a tiny itsy bitsy portion of your fan base. And you have to think about it. It's got a crossover. So you have a tiny little 1% of the population, and that tiny 1% of the population has to also like Star Wars. What is that, like 112 people tops in the world? So you are out there reaching out to 112 possible people.
112 people. That's very specific, Brian.
I'm guessing here, but so you have to be trans, care about the movement. Like, so there's trans people that don't care about the movement, and they're just like, I'm in the wrong body and I'm doing my own thing. And then there are trans people that are really deep into it. They wear the trans pins. They're out there marching. You have to have those people, and they have to be Star Wars fans to get them to want to watch or, patronize your product. So what was the point with this? It doesn't move the needle for you. Like there's nothing about this is a good business decision. It's only there to stir up trouble to get people to talk about it online like us. Yep. That's what it's for. It's not actually to get more.
Well, that's
Star Wars
what
fans.
it kind of felt like, considering when I heard this thing, this character had already been out for like 2 years now, and this thing's been around forever, and somebody finally discovered it. And when I traced it back or saw who originally had posted it, wasn't it one of the pro Disney Star Wars people anyway that posted this thing? So I agree with you. I think it was just to get us talking about it.
Right.
Well, we took the bait. Good job, guys.
We took the bait. We always take the bait. That's what we do. We constantly take the bait.
Everyone always takes the bait, right?
The trans bait.
Time.
Yeah, bait bus. Baitbus.com. Remember that in the late 90s? Odin remembers. Look at his face. He remembers. He remembers bait bus. Yeah, you remember.
What are y'all even talking about?
Tom, before the show, me and Tom were talking about modernity, right? We were talking about jokes that don't age well in movies and television shows, and that's what most of it always feels like to me, is creeping modernity that feels great in the moment for the person writing it. Not to say that this person can't write a good story. I haven't read that book. But the point is the best art, at least the art that I find that I love the most when it comes to movies and television, has a timeless feel that doesn't scream of a certain era, at least not as blatantly as something like this does. Also, the art was just kind of bad. Like the picture of it is just kind of bad. And I see these topics and I get very exhausted with most.
Did you guys see that other picture that's out there?
Yeah. I saw the photo, and
there's another one though.
Oh, is there more than one?
Okay. Yeah, I'll bring it up here. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I kind of chalk this up with them inserting this crap into like Star Trek, where we got the pronoun lecture in Star Trek Discovery.
Oh
it's just like this little stupid thing that they threw in there for no reason other than the virtue signal, and then now it's over with and done. But
you're talking about the chick with the shaved head who looks like she's 15. She comes in. She literally talks to what's effectively her boss and says, "You need to refer to me as my proper pronouns." And he's okay.
Yeah. So they're just
So I guess this was commissioned work, and it's in one of the books or something like that. But like, if you zoom in on this, you can definitely tell. Like, this head looks like it was like plastered on here, and I'm so confused because aren't they all supposed to look like Boba Fett?
Yes.
I thought that was Tekashi 69.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this just looks like some random black dude's face you found on Google and just plastered it on this.
Dude, that's the chick from Acolyte. That's who that is.
Is it?
Probably not, but that's who it reminds me of.
Yeah, probably not. But Brett, one of the things I wanted to talk about when it came to this thing is that it's not so much that they're trying to stir up controversy, get people talking about them. In my opinion, this is really long been a concerted effort to kind of normalize this type of stuff. In fact, I wanted to bring this up because, again, I came across this in Twitter. I don't know why Twitter's serving me this stuff, but it is. So there was this thing here where it says transgender women are better lovers than biological women, boast straight TikTok star. Apparently, it does not make you gay to have sex with a transgender.
It 100% makes you gay. 100%. If the person having sex with you has a penis and you have a penis, then you are gay. I'm sorry. That's just biology, Holmes.
It's funny you mention this, Matt. This is what I call "have you heard" propaganda, which is the type of articles that say like, "Oh, did you hear that working out is actually really bad for you?" Oh, that's crazy. They love those types of articles that push back against everything that with common sense is true.
Yeah, you know what? Working out's bad for you, and I need 5 burgers from Five Guys. I feel good about that. Yeah. Let's go with that ideology. It makes me feel good.
Yep.
I mean,
it just gives me. Excuse me, Butters. It just gives me a reason to play this clip.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
I love that so much.
It's so funny. Yeah.
I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Why are you going to say Dutch? Gay?
I don't remember. It's okay. It's gone.
All right.
No, but Brett's right, and this stuff is going to age badly. He's 100% correct. This is like what we were saying before the show. Our conversation was like the jokes that are too set in a certain time will not generally age past their due date. And what you're doing is that to everything. right? Because you are rooting everything in so much social commentary and political commentary and nonsense that in 10 years from now, we're all going to look back on and go, oh shit, I can't believe we acted that way. Because let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Every generation looks back 10 years and goes, oh shit, I can't believe we acted that way.
Yeah.
The only generation that didn't was the hippies because they're fucking retarded.
But
Someday,
also, like,
someday Brett's going to run for public office and they're going to find this podcast.
Yeah.
And go,
Oh, and
my
World War
God,
II generation because they actually fucking did something.
but it's
Yeah.
funny because like there are certain things that, like, for instance, I think absolutely you're right, will be the ones to say, I cannot believe that we actually allowed this to be done to kids, this
Right.
to be allowed to everything. But then even today, there are some who are on this like crazy ideological spectrum that are already saying this about things from like the early 2000s. I've been on this this kick recently of, I don't know if y'all have seen it, it's like the React videos. So it's reacting to early 2000 songs, to 1990s songs, things like that. And there was one where it was like dealing with like, I think either boy bands or pop rock or punk rock, whatever it might be. And the band's name was Boys Like Girls. And they had to make comments about it. They said, I love this song, but oh man, yeah, that band name, girls like girls, boys like boys. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, of all the things to make a comment about, you're going to just go after their name for being non-inclusive?
Here's the problem with the generational regret thing, though. Like, so you
Yeah.
go, so we regret, like, we're going to regret what we did to kids and what we did with this trans ideology and how we trained an entire generation to be so hyper entitled and selfish that they can't even get through like a regular work day without losing their minds. What we in the 80s, 90s were regret is like drawn on eyebrows and super baggy pants and tight Gap shirts.
No, I'll take the baggy pants back over these tight gay ones we got now, Brian.